back to another episode of the Everyday Joy podcast. I'm your host, Ash Couchman, and I cannot wait to find moments of joy with you today. We've had so many incredible people head over to the Everyday Joy Facebook community group. Over the last few weeks in particular, you guys have been so involved, and I've been loving seeing your thoughts, your messages. So would you head over there and become a part of it? You know, that is a space where not only do we want you to be able to talk about the podcast, but we want it to be a place where you can ask your questions, you can encourage each other. You know, it even might be something as simple as, hey, we have this thing happening at our church, feel free to come and join in. It's a great spot to be able to celebrate everything that God is doing in our world. So make sure you head over there and become a part of it. But we're going to dive into the Word of God together in just a moment. Let's hear the Word of God.
Matthew 6:21. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also.
Beautiful, Jenny. Welcome back to the Everyday Joy podcast.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. I don't know about you, but the summer excitement is real.
Oh, it's so real.
I love summer. Now, tell me if this is something in your marriage as well. I love the sunshine. I love it to be hot, being outside, going for swims. My husband, Toby, on the other hand, he just hates the heat so much. He grew up in hot Queensland. There was a season of his life when he was living in pretty much desert Queensland, and he hated it. And so we have this funny back and forth, and we have a Ring camera on our front door. And so I've started saving these videos because now that it's getting hot, every time I walk out of the house, I go, oh, it's so beautiful. And then he walks out and he goes, it's a bit hot, a bit warm. And he's like, I'm sweating. And so I have this montage video of me going, what a beautiful day. And him going, I'm dying.
I love it.
Is that the same with you and Kev, or are you both summer people, or are you both not summer people?
I'm a summer person, but I also love winter. I love the extremes of both.
Yeah, I like that we get all of it in Melbourne.
Like on one day, yes.
Yeah.
And Kev he likes it cold. I think, yeah.
Maybe it's a boy thing.
I think it is. In a house, it's
A man
always
thing.
icy cold. Always, it's either icy cold, or it's like this artificial heat that's always there. So he's okay with summer. He's okay at the beach. I think he puts up with the beach because he knows Chelsea and I love it.
Yeah.
I love both extremes. So.
Yeah, my life, literally, me last night, is sitting on the couch with a fluffy blanket because the aircon is blasting and I am shivering. So it's, I guess as a part of marriage, you deal with the blankets while your husband is too warm. Anyway, so besides the point. But this verse, Matthew 6, verse 21, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Man, this verse is challenging sometimes.
Yes, so much boom.
We have spoken about the week devotion of James a couple times already, but if you haven't listened, go back and listen to that week. There's a downloadable devotion over on the Facebook page that you can read alongside with it. But something that I really learned from studying the book of James is there are so many scriptures in that book that talk about you really need to not love the world to love God. It's kind of like this thing of you can't sit on the fence. You can't be half loving God and half loving the world. You really truly need to surrender everything to God. And this verse challenges me because this verse says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And what it's basically saying is, where the things that you care the most about. So whether it's whatever's controlling you, whatever you love the most, that's where your heart also is. So it's often used, I guess, in relation to often finances a lot, purely because money can have such a tight grip on us. Finances can have such a tight grip on us, not just in ways that are, a bit ridiculous, but the reality is for all of us, finances and money is a big part of our lives. It's a driver for so many of us. And I think this verse is a moment of going, we can't just allow the physical of our world to be our only treasure. We need to use it to help us and for it to accompany us and go alongside us, but we don't want it to be what controls us. We don't want those things to be our treasure. And I think that we all have moments where we realize that our treasure or our fill in the blank is actually where our treasure is.
Yeah.
And we will probably all have moments of that over our life where we're going to have to recheck in and go, okay, well, what actually do I care the most about? What actually, like, what are my actual priorities? Yeah, I just think this verse is great to challenge us to go, okay, when we have moments where we, are struggling with being generous, or when we have moments where we go, yeah, but like so-and-so has this and I'm feeling really jealous, or all these things, it's a great moment to go, you know what? Where is my heart? Like, where is my treasure? And it's not saying we're going to fix it or solve it in a moment, but we actually need to be aware of where our treasure is to be able to make any changes.
Yeah. I like how you said it's a challenge for us and we will fall back into it because we're human.
Yeah.
It's in our nature to do that. And it's the next decision that we make is what's going to separate us from our love of God and to continue on. I battle with this all the time. Like, I hear this verse all the time. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be. Also, because I feel like on paper, I want to be the perfect Christian. I want to just be God and only God. But I know deep in my heart, I can get so lost in this world because it is so easy to do it, because we're surrounded by it. And I have to keep reminding myself to not beat myself over it. I'm only human. And it's only natural that we all feel this way. And I'm not the only one. And especially the last 2 weeks where the Black Friday sales have been insane.
Crazy.
I remember on the Friday, I had at least 20 messages on my phone just going ping, ping,
I feel like I'm still getting them.
Same. Like, I just got 2 just then. I'm like, shh, phone. It's just, it does not stop.
Yeah.
And it won't stop. And it's because they're always just chipping at us going, buy me, buy me, buy me. And because we know Christmas is coming up, we know that it's getting harder financially. And so we fall into this trap. I fall into this trap. I fall into the trap of, okay, what am I missing in my life? How do I make Chelsea just, a bit easier to survive this world? And I get lost in that and not thinking, okay, you know what? She just needs God. I just need God. I need to recheck myself, like you said. Go back to the basic. Where is God in my life? Where am I focusing on? It is so easy to get lost in Christmas shopping.
And you can get, but with anything, like whether it's Christmas, whether it's life, you can get overwhelmed by the bigness of life sometimes. And we all have those moments because things can get busy, things get loud, things get crazy. And so to actually be able to have those heart check moments of going, okay, where's my treasure? Like, how am I going to deal with this right now? And, I think I've even mentioned a little bit already on the podcast, but I feel like, I'm in this season where so many people around me are buying houses and having all of these moments, and it's really hard to fully surrender it to God. And I've definitely had some awesome moments where I've been able to do that, but it's still that thing of going, okay, God, I don't want to care about like physical treasures in our world. Like, I don't want that to be something that drives me. I want that to be a fruit of loving God, and I want it to be a fruit of being a hard worker and being someone who's dedicated to what they do, but I don't want that to be what drives me. And I think that's the difference. Treasure in itself isn't bad. Like, enjoying things isn't bad. It's when we put it above everything else. It's when we allow those things. It's like kind of like you were saying, you're like, well, if Chelsea doesn't have this, 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 and this, it's a bad Christmas. Like, that's not true.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that thing of going, it's not about the physical treasure. Yes, we can enjoy things. Yes, we can have fun, but it's actually about going, okay, where's my heart in this? And the Bible talks so much about God going, he cares so much more about the attitudes and the position of our heart than anything else. And we need to keep it sweet, because I remember hearing something once that really challenged me. And at first, I think it challenged me because it was very true and I got really grumpy about it. But it was something about how, like, when something's called out in you, when someone calls out a decision you've made, or when someone says something, how you can almost get that pit of your stomach feeling where you go, that's not true. That's not how I feel. And then when you actually wait a second and you reflect and you go, maybe I am jealous. Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes it takes someone calling something out. The quote was something along the lines of, the things that we get the most of an upset reaction about often are the things that we need to be challenged on.
Oof.
And it's so true though, right? Because
True.
you want to defend and you want to, because none of us want to seem like we're obsessed with the world or jealous or living for materialistic things. But sometimes we need to be challenged on it. And that's what this verse does. It challenges us. It goes, okay, well, where is your treasure? Actually goes, okay, I want you to inwardly reflect and go, what's driving you right now? And I know for myself, I've had seasons where it wasn't the Lord driving what I was doing. It was me just going, okay, well, I want to earn money and I want to do this and I want to, you know, be successful, but not actually bringing God into it. And so I think this verse, it's a great accountability moment almost to go, okay, well, where are our hearts? And sometimes it doesn't even have to be a big deal. Like you said, sometimes it's just that moment of, okay, we're at Christmas time. Where's my treasure in this season? How am I keeping Jesus at the center? Still enjoying those lovely things, but still keeping Jesus as the treasure and everything else as like a little added bonus.
It's like just keeping him right in the middle of your season, right in every little season. And it doesn't have to be like a big season, like for example, myself when we were going through IVF, or it could be even a little season like, okay, I'm going to the shops. I only have $200 to spend. God, I need to focus on God. What has he told me? He told me that I need my basics. And then just go on from there. Even though it doesn't sound so trivial, like you're going to the shops to buy food just to feed yourself, but at least there you remind yourself, okay, where's God? What has God blessed me with, and what can I use with that? This verse actually reminds me of a story in my life where Charles was only 4 months old. We were told by our landlord that we had to be out of the house because we were renting on Christmas Day. That was our last day. And being a new mum, after going through all IVF, going through pregnancy, literally still in the newborn trenches, we had to move. We had to pack all our things up. And this verse is what really popped up all the time. Where are my treasures? Where is everything? I was packing things up and I was making the decisions. Well, do I need to get rid of this or do I need to keep this? And that's where I had to ask myself, where are my treasures at? Why am I getting so upset over something like this where I know my treasure is in heaven? I know where my treasure is. I know where my heart is in God. And in that situation, it's so hard because I have all these emotions going around. I had to think of the future of where I'm going to live now with my newborn. But bringing it back, I had to keep bringing it back to that one spot and go, God, you are where my heart is. Jesus, you are where my heart is. It doesn't matter where we go. I know you're going to look after me. Doesn't matter what I throw out or what I keep in these boxes. It's just going to stay here. My treasure is in you. And that's one extreme. And then there's the example of shopping extreme. But I know we all go through different seasons. We all go through different situations, and we may not go through the same ones, but we all go through the same thought process.
And I think what you just said then, you just kind of triggered something in my mind, that talking about where your treasure isn't about not caring. It's about the fact that when your treasure is in Christ, when your treasure is your family, is Jesus, is like those pinnacle things like being asked to move house don't feel as big, because you go, you know what? That's not where my treasure lies. Like you said, that's not where everything breaks down. Like that's not the moment where it all happens. Like the moment where it all happens is your faith and your family. Like, so when those things roll out, like when those tough circumstances happen, it's not a matter of not caring or not it being difficult, but you're able to go, well, my treasure isn't this. My treasure is here, and that's unshakable. And so when your treasure is in something unshakable, you can't be shaken as easily. And I think that's what this verse is kind of saying, is like, man, your treasure needs to be somewhere that will protect your heart, that will keep you safe, that will help the chaos of life to not keep you down. And I love that story you shared, because like I said, again, it's so easy to not have that attitude, but having that attitude probably helped you in that season.
Yeah, definitely did. And I feel it in my heart that whoever's listening right now, you may not know where your treasures lie. You may not have that unshakable treasure that's in God. So I would love for you to, go deep inside you. Sit down. You may not need to have a Bible, but know that God is there with you right now. He's there in your heart. He's always been talking to you. He's always been there for you. But if you are going through a hard time, just stop and talk. You can just say, hey, God. Or you can say, hey, Dad, I know you're there. I just need a little help. And he will come.
I love that. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. You know, this verse can be a little challenging sometimes. I know for me, I've had seasons where I've had to check myself and go, oh, my treasure is in the wrong place right now. And look, maybe you're hearing today's episode and you're thinking the same thing. You've realized that your priorities have kind of moved a little bit off what truly matters. But like Jen said, this is a great moment, not to feel bad, not to feel condemned, but to actually go, you know what? This is an exciting time to trust and rely and bring that focus back to Jesus. So make sure you spend some time doing that after today's episode. I've really loved chatting to Jen today, and I can't wait to keep unpacking the Word of God tomorrow. But until then, I pray you're able to find moments of joy.